What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Plus a Code 1, brought to you by Man Food Certified. And as you should know by now, Man Food equals meat over heat, plus a Code 1. And we are here where some of your favorite award-winning brews are crafted with none other than the co-owner of 3 Ls, the co-owner of the Elwood, the owner of the Emo Brown Foundation, the host of the Emo Brown podcast, a.k.a. the Reader's #1 local podcast, a.k.a. El Champ, a.k.a. Leche Face.
Talk to him.
This might be the longest intro ever.
You know what I'm saying? We are here with my man, and it's Steve O Garcia, plus a Code 1.
Hey, one time for my city light, 2 times for my city light, hey, 1 time for my city light.
Cheers, boys. Yeah, pop that shit. Ooh, look at that.
I'm just gonna call him AKA for sure.
A.k.a.
Cheers,
Salute.
Thank you guys for having me on, man.
Oh, man.
This is an intimidating setup.
Oh, man, you know,
Look at this.
it's just a lot of wires and shit, you know?
Yeah.
Colorful wires.
That's the wire.
I've been looking forward to this for a while, and we got a little history, man, that we want to get into. But the first thing that I got to really talk to you about is, first off, big ups, man, on #1 local podcast. And didn't you, if I remember right, have #1 new podcast at one point in time?
Yeah, I mean, fuck all those things. They're just like, what are they, like popularity contests, man. But that just means that people are listening.
That's what matters, though,
so
right?
we've been grinding to get it done, and now the podcast is a little bit over 2 years. But I feel it really got its bearings after when the pandemic started, you know? So it's like people have been subscribing, jumping on, supporting, so it feels good, man. You were there.
I was there.
Oh,
We're going to get into that.
When we planted the seed.
We're going to get into that. Matter of fact, because I have, you know, a responsibility, and it's to ask you what people are asking me. But we're going to get into that. But before we do...
Sounds aggressive.
Wait for
it.
it.
My lawyer.
You know what I'm
Lawyer.
saying? Before we do, I got to tell a story, man, because it's pretty cool. So, shout out to Ruben Alvarez, man, one of the homies that when he knew I was really interested in like food blogging and all that kind of shit, he was like, well, come on down to 3rd Avenue, man. I got to introduce you to somebody. Brings me here about 2 months before you guys actually opened.
Yes, sir.
So I got to see the whole setup from behind the scenes, got to meet everybody, man. And when you guys did a soft opening, man, I just felt like I was part of it, man. So did some video stuff in here, and a few months later, you were like, so what's the Man Food Certified all about? And I was telling you, just beer, barbecue, all that kind of stuff. You were like, cool, man. Hey, man, we got a podcast. We're going to be shooting downstairs. If you want to bring your video camera through, I'd be like, hell yeah. So I came down. It was the Emo Brown. I think it was episode 1.
Yes, it was episode 1. We had a lot of episode 1s.
Yeah.
Episode 1s.
The crazy thing is, I was assuming it was going to be about beer, and the first thing you said out your mouth on episode 1 was, we will not be talking about beer.
This is true.
And
we still don't.
And there went all your talking points.
And there went all my talking points. But the thing was, I was intrigued. Like, damn, dude, this dude has a brewery that's popping right now. San Diego still considered the beer, craft brew capital of the world. 3rd Avenue is coming up. Why is he not talking about beer? And as soon as you started getting it on, I was like, oh, this dude got some vision. Like, this dude is doing more than just beer. Not to mention, might not be your first drink of choice.
It isn't. You know, we opened up this brewery with the intent of, you know, bringing something to our hood. You know, we wanted to make sure that I would always be going to North Park or downtown or wherever it is to go get these kinds of beers that we like. I enjoyed beer, but half the time, like, if you surround yourself with a certain thing over and over and over, day in and day out, 24/7, you kind of lose the appeal towards it. And that's the relationship I have with beer.
Yeah.
Let alone tasting it, overall talking about it. So that's when we started this little mini project at the Emo Brown.
Smelling it,
I can
working
still
in
smell
it.
it. Oh, I can still.
Oh, you still love the smell?
Oh yeah, I still love the smell. It smells like oatmeal, man.
Oh, man.
It smells like porridge. I feel like Goldilocks when it's brew day and I come in here. It's just a good feeling. But yeah, I've been around beer for so long now. We started our first home brew in 1998 during the World Cup. Me and the partner back then, John Marshall, we started brewing and it just kind of snowballed into one thing into another. Fast forward a few years, a couple of careers, going back to San Diego State, doing some more brewery educational like certifications, man. And then we're like, all right, cool, I think we're ready to plant this seed and see who's involved and interested in supporting us at 3 Ls.
So, why beer? Was it just initially, that's what I like? I'm
Oh,
into
yeah.
it. That's what I like.
Yeah.
So I want to start brewing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I remember I went to a brewery in Mazatlan, Pacifico.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite fucking beer of
Oh,
all
yeah.
time, bro. So I walked through the facility, I took the tour, I had the beers, and I remember looking, I was like, ooh, I want to do this shit at home.
No.
You know, already knowing full well that at that point it was like 2006,
Yeah.
knowing what San Diego was on the precipice of doing with some of the old dogs like Stone, Coronado,
Yeah.
Carl Strauss, you know,
Yeah.
like all those guys, and I was like, oh, why not do something like this at home, you know? And that's where it all started.
Did anybody try to like deter you from
Everybody.
doing it?
There was not one person that said, hey, man, that's a good idea. Everybody was like, why in Chula Vista? Mexicans don't drink craft beer. Filipinos don't drink craft beer. Black people don't drink craft beer.
That's a crazy thing
And I was
because
like,
I mean, it's crazy that you say that because that was true all the way up to. I'll be honest, man. My first experience with craft brew had to do with I loved fishing out here in San Diego, and the fact that Ballast Point had they branded it in such a way that drew me in, and so that was my first favorite beer. You know, I thought the Stone IPA initially, just getting new to IPAs, was a little bit too.
Burned your tongue.
Yeah, a little bit too much. A little too, you know, back here for me. But the Ballast Point actually was the Pale Ale. I think they called it the Yellowtail back then. Now it's Ballast Point Pale Ale. That got me, man. And then it made me start thinking and looking. And then the crazy thing about it, and one of the reasons why we always associate the brand with the beer hop, because even Plus a Cold One Man Food Certified, it's really about local shit.
Yes.
It's really about what you do, putting your fucking community up there on the platform, you know what I'm saying that you appreciate and you love being from this spot. That's the one thing I love about you the most, man. But it was craft beer that kind of brought me into that. So when we talk about craft culture, we're talking about a lot of shit, but really
very communal.
craft beer was the thing that kind of drew me in.
I want to ask Steve. You mentioned that you had a lot of detractors, right? Initially, when you were trying to get, but at the same time, coincidentally, wasn't there a big revitalization project here going on in 3rd Avenue? A lot of money being pumped into kind of like, you know, giving it a new look, a new facade, making it a little bit more hip in the tradition of a North Park or you know.
Were you guys
Normal Heights, that sort of thing.
Were you guys aware of that coming in? Was that part of the mindset? No.
Not at all, man. On 3rd Avenue, it's a cool collection of business owners and businesses. So the first one on the block was 3rd Avenue Ale House, but the first one in South Bay, as it relates to that new wave that came through, was Machete.
Okay.
So we linked up with Machete. We let them know, like, hey, we're opening a brewery. You know, we'd appreciate if you guys like carried some of our beer. Let us know what we need to do to make that happen. And they said, oh, you guys are opening on 3rd Avenue. Boom. Yes. Oh, 3rd Avenue Ale House is opening. Boom. Chula Vista Brewery is opening. Boom. And then it's like, Barcy Nombre, Groundswell's coming in. The old dogs, Labella is the first people to bring craft beer on 3rd Avenue.
Sure.
Then you have like,
Shout out to Labella.
Yeah, right?
Shout out.
That hot pastrami with cheese, bro. Toasted.
That shit's nice.
Great sandwich.
Hey, a little unknown fact, man. We did the Hot Wing Challenge in 2013, man.
Okay.
Labella's got number 4.
No, but I think it was number
that
3.
breaded.
No, they got number 3.
I have number
The
3.
breaded wing, right?
It's the breaded wing, and really, to be honest, man, a breaded wing is not a traditional hot wing, so they really shouldn't have been up there. But what they did that was smart is they put the sauce on the side.
What's up?
So the fucking shit is crispy still, and then you dip it, and it was good.
But I think it's marinated before it's breaded, though. So if
Is
you
it?
bite into it, I think there's like a layer of seasoning
It's
like
some
before
flavor.
I'm in my shit right now.
That's what's up, man.
But nobody beats a canyon, bro. Nobody beats a canyon, bro.
And the
Try to
crazy thing
test
about it, and this is why this shit is organic, is because a lot of people think that was my hangout spot prior to that. It was not.
Right.
It was the challenge. That got nominated for us to go. We went. I grew up right down the street from there. Really didn't know that spot was there, man. Walked in, had the wings, and like, this shit is the bomb. Not only did they win, I keep going back for the wings, man. So I mean, that shit is real talk.
Yep.
You know what I
Welcome
mean?
to Chula Vista status, bro. That's
Welcome to
one of
Chula,
those.
baby.
It's one of those pillars in the community that
Yeah.
you know is like Labella, like the Canyon, you know, like a Lolita's, you know. So when we came here,
Like
we
the
had
Three
no
Punk.
idea. Hopefully, you know, like when we came here, we didn't know what the game plan was. We knew that we didn't want to keep going to North Park to drink, to fucking Vista, bro, to East County. We were like, you know what? I want to keep this shit here local for us, because I'm not the only one that wants to drink craft beer.
Bro, this is
you know?
11. This is at high tide, dog. This is $11 Uber ride. You know what I'm saying?
And sometimes it's more coming from East Lake to West Side than it
Yeah.
is coming from North Park to the West Side of
Is that
Chula
right?
Vista. Yeah, bro. It takes me from right here to get to the center of North Park to like Fall Brewing or whatever.
Yeah.
It takes me 7 minutes and it's less than $15.
No shit.
To get from East Lake to here, it costs like $20 and it takes me like 20 minutes. You know,
it's a straight
it's
freeway shot.
forever.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, so
freeway
it's like
shot,
one
that's
and
why.
done. You know.
So, who is Emo Brown?
it's you. It's JD, aka Jose. You know, it's Derek. It's all of us, man. And that's what we started it with. You know, when we all got down here, it was like Emo Brown, the saddest Mexican. The homie Glasses and I were driving back from his jiu-jitsu promotion. So he had just been jumped in. It's like a fucking gang in jiu-jitsu, bro. They just jumped him to get him to the next level. So he got to the brown belt.
Yeah, because you got to fight, right?
It's
you
prestigious, yeah, and especially, dude, they get down.
They get down.
They get down, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna stop, you know. So he got his promotion to brown belt. And he was stoked, excited. On the ride back, I remember we were talking, and I was like, damn, homie, you still sad? Look at you. Even a brown belt, like one of the highest accolades that you can do in this sport, like you still don't even have a grin. He's like, oh, yeah. Because you know, for people who know Glasses, he's our tasting room manager at the brewery. He's my emotional guy. Yeah. So I told him, I said, look at you, Emo Brown. And we just kind of looked at each other like one of those moments where it's like, we don't know what it is, but that's a killer name, you know? It's like, fuck, what are we gonna do with it? And then we just started spitfiring, a fucking beer, a sandwich, a burrito, a podcast. He's like, what do you know about podcasts? I don't know nothing about podcasts, bro. What are we gonna talk? Like, what are we gonna talk about? You know, like the best burrito in town, which is what we did for a while. You know, and then it just kind of birthed from there. And then we just kind of like kept it going, kind of fast forward to where we are now. Emo Brown is everybody. Emo Brown is very communal. I like to put people on pedestals and soapboxes that come in like the Grindhouse, for example, just because I'm looking at it right now. Hey man, you know what, we're doing this, we're gonna be doing that, we're gonna open it here. Boom, come on in, let's talk about where you started, where you are, where you're going. Ron Ritchie, the owner's like, all right, boom, let's talk about this. And that's what it is, man. At that point, Emo Brown put that business on our back, and let's push to all the people that are involved with us.
So when we talk about Emo Brown, and while you were talking about it, it made me think, yeah, it sounds like a Chula Vista. It sounds like some local shit, man, because in the big mix, you know, you got San Diego, you got all these communities around us that really soak up a lot of the energy, man. You know what I'm saying? Bigger, more urban, they got shit popping, and then you go up north and it's money, right? Then you go up north and that is it's LA. You know what I'm saying? So Chula Vista, I always felt just kind of gets lost in the mix, and we kind of do.
Good.
Right, we kind of do. But the problem that I see sometimes is we internalize that shit almost up to the point where it's like we're not even big up in each other, right? So for you guys to say Emo Brown is everybody, man, I feel like it's such a Chula Vista thing to say, yo, man, we watching, man, we appreciate y'all, man, y'all special too. If you're from Chula, man, fucking hold that shit up, man.
There's always hate, bro. There's too much hate already, like amongst friends, amongst businesses, amongst just things and people that are aspiring to do. It's like we were just trying to be like, why? Bring it together. If it's one thing that we've noticed, like within our Mexican culture, is like, and I see this like in the Filipino culture, they support each other, bro. From like the get to the top, through the struggle, through everything. They're boom, boom, boom. I got your back. Oh, you don't know what my nephew's opening this. Let's go support.
Yes, sir.
The Mexican culture is different. Like what I've noticed growing up in this, you know, and it's like, muy chingon, look at you. Want to open a fucking brewery.
Who do you think you are?
Muy vergas. And it's like, no, that's not what it's about. Now that we're here, it's like, no. You want to do something? Cool. Jump on in. Let's do it.
We got some shit in common when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure do.
Derek, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
You know, so, but it's one of those things, man, that you can be the solution. You don't gotta fucking be the problem.
I don't want to be the obstacle. Exactly. That's for sure, man.
Exactly.
You know?
Which was weird because in the years that I've been blogging and all that kind of stuff, there's been a couple people, man, that embraced me. Only a couple. One was Canyon Dave, excuse me, and two was you. Now, my buddy Ruben, that's my buddy, that's my homie. But as far as someone who has an establishment,
I embrace you more than Ruben, bro. What's up?
You embrace. Look at this, right?
From the back.
This a big ass hug right here. Look at where we at, man. Look at where we at, man. I got a couple homies that aren't going to be here today. They're going to be disappointed, man. They didn't get a chance to sit here. We was excited about this, man. Even my wife is like, oh yeah, she loves this spot, man. We bring the kids here. My kids have played with your kids in a lowrider.
In a lowrider, bro. My dad's lowrider.
Right out here, man. So all that community shit is what I'm about, man. And whatever comes from that is what comes with it, man. But I think, you know, you put good shit out in the universe, man, you're gonna get blessed.
We are very smart in the Chula Vista area. In the South Bay, we see through a lot of the static, man. And we have a saying that we always go, don't talk about it, be about it. People know when new businesses come into the neighborhood, it's like, what's your intent? Like, what are you trying to do? We don't try to fake the fun, because the people in the community, they will spot you out in a second and call you out on it. Yep. So we want to make sure that, you know, we don't just talk about it. We are about it, man.
And the one thing I really like about Chula, man, while we're on the topic, man, is growing up out here, being a black dude growing up, man, there was all kind of adversity, even here in Chula Vista, but there's a common theme about a lot of the brown folks, like you was talking about, Mexicans, Filipinos, Pacific Islanders, Samoans, Chamorros, all that kind of stuff. as we were growing up, everybody was kind of like putting that shit, their nationality, their race, second to being from Chula Vista.
Yeah.
And Chula Vista ended up being the number one connective tissue between.
If you're a good hang, you're a good hang.
Yeah.
And that's all you got to be.
Everyone's
you know what I mean?
Mexican in Chula Vista,
Yeah.
bro. That's how the spirit says, man.
If-
Everyone's invited to carne asada.
If you're
bro.
not Mexican by blood, you speak some Spanish.
Oh, for
you
sure.
speak some level of Spanish.
Yeah,
and you
absolutely,
two guys
bro.
can go about
Definitely.
ordering a beer and a taco just fine
Una
on
chela
your
y
own. You
taquito.
know? Yeah.
The first time I moved to Chula Vista, I was about 11 years old. Never in my entire life, I'm telling you, knew what a roll taco was. Didn't know what a carne asada burrito was. Didn't know. So we were at LT's right here on 3rd Avenue. Went there for the first time. My mom took me there, and she's like, I hear these roll tacos are really good. And so we had like 12 of them. And I think I ate 9. And kept wanting to go back. I mean, I was an LT regular at 11 or 12 years old. And then I was instantly in love with Mexican food. And now I cook it, smell it, love it, sleep with it.
Smack it up.
Smack it up. Yeah, this dude get busy, man. So listen, man. Why not podcast? If you're gonna have a podcast, just go with the low-hanging fruit, because SD beer is popping. 3rd Avenue. You know, you can kind of feel the energy when it was all getting set up, right?
Yeah.
By the time you guys were open, it was
Stressful
like,
as fuck, bro.
I bet it was.
Stressful as fuck.
But it was popping.
Yeah.
You know, you could feel the energy. Why not just go, hey, let's do a beer podcast?
There's too many of them, and I don't know how to hold a meaningful conversation about beer. I know how to hold a meaningful conversation about meaningful shit. You know, like
Right,
and the
right.
most meaningful thing, like you're talking about people's love for Chula Vista. Show me another city, another community where people roll around with the city logo tattooed on themselves, bro. Like that, it is real. Like
I can't think of one.
I'm thinking
Bro.
right now, this is a great point.
Yeah, this is a
I'm
great
thinking
point.
about on the top of my head, can I think of a logo from a
Subtly,
city?
too, because people don't
I
go,
don't- I
yo,
don't-
look at my
yeah,
Chula Vista
yeah.
tats. No, it's just, sometimes it's in a place where you don't even
yeah,
see it. It's
yeah.
just,
You don't do it to floss on people. You know, you do it because, oh shit, this is me like showing pride from where I'm from.
Yeah.
Walk to any business here on 3rd Avenue, and I say 3rd Avenue because that's where I'm primarily, stationed. But if you look on our wall, you get the City of Chula Vista logo.
Dude,
You
I
get,
love that
you,
shit.
get, you get San Diego tattoos, obviously, because it's a big city and we got the Padres. But you never see La Mesa.
No,
Or
you know?
Fallbrook.
a lemon.
Yeah. Hey,
The lemon, right?
No.
Yeah, I got a lemon.
there you go.
Lemon
But
tat.
it's true, man. There's a lot of pride, so we have a lot of responsibility to uphold that pride, and that's what I wanted to do with Emo Brown. And Emo Brown is more than beer. We made a beer through the brewery, and we named it shit Emo Brown.
Yeah.
But still, it's like it was more than that. And then I just wanted to highlight the local business people. We needed all the help we could get. We're the second largest city within the within the county of San Diego, but we're a sleeping giant as it relates to
That's my
everything
point.
else.
That's
it's
my
like
point.
I feel we're often overlooked, and I'm like, good. I'd rather stay under the radar and keep doing what we're doing and garnering enough support. It's the old adage, bro. They always tell you, own your backyard. You can't own your backyard. You cannot own your backyard and then try to grow and go somewhere else.
If they don't love you, how can you expect
How you-
anybody else to?
Right.
You know what I mean? Man, you said a lot right there. Explain a little bit about this mural, because I don't know if everybody knows, and I don't really know the whole story behind it, but that shit is iconic, bro. And so when we come here, hey, let's snap a picture. My wife is always, get in front of the mural. I got my kids in front of the mural. I got my
Mission
friends. I got
accomplished.
her friends in front. I got my family in front of the mural. What's up with the mural?
That was the goal, man. We wanted to create something here that people would be drawn to, and that right at that, I mean, we are a look at me community. We're a look at me type of society where it's like you take pictures, you upload them, you put them on social media, you look for those likes, and we're like, all right, how do we tap into that shit? Let's create something that people want to actually be a part of.
Yeah.
Our mural, bro. I grew up in the punk rock scene. I grew up, in punk rock bands. I grew up going to punk rock venues. And in punk rock venues, the one thing I wanted to implement here, especially if we're going to be called 3 Punkeos, which we can talk about a little later because we get a lot of flack because we have fucking norteño night, we have fucking like reggae night, and punk is more than music, bro. It's a mentality, do whatever the fuck you want, and that's kind of how we approach everything. You guys don't have hazy beers, man? When we want to make, when we'll make.
Right.
You
That's
know,
it.
it
That's
was
the
pretty-
punk. That's the
yeah,
punk.
it was pretty
right
much
there.
like on that tip. But this fucking mural, we reached out to one of the guys, local artist, David Foist, Gain One. I let them know, hey, bro, I grew up going to a bunch of concerts, and when you play in the backstage, all you see is a bunch of flyers, a bunch of posters on the wall, a bunch of graffiti, and then you see like barbed wire fences where people hang their merch and this, that, and the other. Woo-woo. I said, I want that shit.
Yeah.
I said, I want that to be part of my tasting room. I want people to walk into this tasting room and kind of have their wig flip, like, what's going on in here?
What is
this
that?
This is on 3rd Avenue.
What?
Historically conservative, bro. Historically very, like, you know,
Chula
like,
Vista.
oh,
Chula
yeah.
Vista.
Older
is
community
historically
yeah, bro, let me
conservative.
tell you a little something
Especially
about
this neighborhood right
a
here,
lot of
this neighborhood of community.
Chula Vista. So we had the mayor on the podcast, and the first time she came on, she told us, hey, did you boys know that once upon a time, Mexicans weren't allowed to own deeds for titles of homes in certain parts of Chula Vista?
Okay.
And we were like, what? She's like, it's like less than 50 years ago. My family was born and raised here in Chula Vista, and we weren't allowed to own homes in certain
Facts.
areas. And
Those
I was
are
like,
facts.
shit. Conservative city, bro. San Diego as a whole, conservative city. Weird, so close to the
Absolutely.
border, so many different, like, we're very diverse, and so many ideas, like, always flow. But here, man, it's weird. So yeah, there's the old guard, you know, there's the old heads of mentality, and then there's a new guard, a bunch of youngsters, way younger than me, but even including us, you know, like in our early 40s, mid 40s, whatever. It's like, it's our opportunity to just kind of bring something way different, bro. I appreciate the businesses that are already here, but we needed a new fucking facelift.
The some of them I don't appreciate.
Go ahead.
With the hairdressers,
Oh shit.
can they go?
Yeah.
Can they go?
Hot take. Dave doesn't like hairdressers.
Oh man,
Damn,
bro, this is the craziest thing because I feel like 3rd Avenue. I think you guys got something really special, and for the first time since I've been living in Chula Vista, and just so everybody know, I've been living here my whole life. I come to 3rd Avenue, man. We can kick it all day.
Let me ask you something, Steve, because you mentioned the punk rock scene, right? And then Dave's asking you who's Emo Brown, right? When I think Emo Brown, I know what that is in my mind because I grew up in the punk scene, in the new wave scene. You know, there is historically, for Hispanics and I think other kind of minority communities, it feels good to feel sad sometimes, right? You know what I mean? Like, that is the emotion. I think that is what separates us, I think, from other communities, is that, hey, you know what? Some tragic shit happens. Don't run away from it. Embrace it.
Run towards it.
And if you can't feel something out of feeling sad and embracing that emotion, then how are you ever gonna embrace anything else? And I get that from our music, right?
Yeah.
From mariachi,
Which is
from
funny,
new
bro, 'cause
wave.
outside of Mexican music, what do Mexicans love, bro? They fucking love the Smiths. They love
That's
Maury,
that's
The
that's
Cure.
where
Like,
that's where I was going with this. That because there's a great Bourdain episode where he goes to East Los, and the whole thing is he's just going around asking Mexicans, why do you love Morrissey so much?
Yeah.
Right? And this lady broke it down. She's like, you know why?
Listen to our music.
She's like, yeah. So you know why? Because Morrissey is sad, and sometimes you got to embrace the melancholy because it feels good to feel sad sometimes, and that's what I think when I hear Emo Brown.
We're talking about the blues.
That we're talking about the blues, another version of
it
the
really
blues.
is.
You know,
I mean, we could be emo blue.
Yeah.
But I mean, we went with Emo Brown. We went with Emo Brown.
hey, side project, Emo
No.
Blue. Let's go.
Thank you for going with Emo Brown.
Because imagine, man, listen to the music. Some of the most like iconic music that comes out of Mexico, mariachi music, like fucking they was saying at JD, like fucking Juan Gabriel, bro, Rocío Dúrcal, you know, stuff like that. It just like it. Amor Eterno is a song that it used to. It's an iconic song, bro. Amor Eterno. You can look it up anywhere where music streams. Listen to that song, and you just listen to the way that song is performed, and you get chills, and you don't know the language, but you're like, damn, there's some sad shit going on in here. Like, I don't know what she's saying, but there's some sad shit.
In touch with their feelings
Yeah.
and embracing the melancholy.
But you would argue you can't have one without the other, right? Like opposites are the same. So you're gonna have if you don't embrace the sadness, you're not gonna have the happiness.
That's what I think of when I hear
And
Emo
in
Brown.
reality, bro, like, I always tell my family, my kiddos, and the people that I work with, because for some reason now people come to me, bro, what do I do here? And I'm no one to give anybody advice, but I'm always gonna listen. I tell them, bro, enjoy the highs, because they're never gonna be as good as you want them to be, you know? Enjoy the lows, because they're not as bad as you really think they are. So, you know, somewhere it's like there's no black and there's no white, there's just a gray. And that's where we just gotta live, bro, and then just hang out in that little area and just, we wake up every morning, you're like, all right, good, I woke up. What am I gonna do today? Let's get it, you know?
And it comes to because we come traditionally, our backgrounds, maybe not us, because we're fortunate to reap the benefits of the struggles of our parents and our grandparents, right? But that sort of gene, that inherent sort of, hey, you know what, we've learned how to deal with tragedy and overcome obstacles in our life sticks with us. So we appreciate not just when people work hard to create something like you've worked here, but we also appreciate that nothing's ever going to be perfect, and you just got to roll with the punches sometimes.
I was dealt a bad hand in that sense, bro. Because I've always like I have a hard time connecting emotionally. Like fucking funerals. Like funerals for one thing, it's like, all right, I see everybody busting up and falling apart. I'm like, shit. Am I the weirdo on the outside, just kind of like, all right, this happened. Let's go through the motions. Now what? You know, like I'm not gonna get stuck in this.
Sure.
Like I'm gonna accept the loss and this that, but I'm not gonna get stuck in this. You know, and I always kind of get in trouble for that.
I just heard it.
Recording. Yep.
Stop?
Stopping recording.
Cool. There
And
we
it was
go.
blue.
Starting
And it's blue.
recording.
All right. Let's can we take a quick break and then
Whatever you want,
reconvene?
bro.
I want to get back to this, man. I'm enjoying myself, bro.
Sure.
More beer? What's up?
Yeah, man.
I've got homies who do them, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I said it right, low hanging fruit. I was like,
It's low hanging fruit. Low.
this is a Pliny. I like it because it tastes good.
Yeah.
Well, here's, at the end
Nice
of the day,
buzz.
nobody gives a shit
No.
about a few 40-something-year-olds talking about how hoppy they like
Big
the
old
beer,
beer belly.
or whether or not they like cheese on their fucking burger or not and shit. You know,
What's the IBU on this? What hops were used in this profile? What's the yeast strain? Like,
Yeah,
shut
once
the
you
fuck
start
up.
talking about a profile, bro, you lost me.
Shut up.
Yeah. However,
That's a good topic, though. All right, hold on. If we're just gonna jump right into it, let me just jump right into it. Okay, so traditionally, right, like wine snobbery, right? You know what I mean? Like, okay, I had a job in Hillcrest for a while where I was selling boutique wine, and I spent like 2 weeks just like refining my palate. You know
Go
what I mean?
ahead.
In order to like be able
Sommelier
to
status.
in order to be able to explain the wine and the whole shit. I always thought it was bullshit. You know what I mean? But I learned enough in that job to kind of distinguish some flavors, right? But
so there's something to it.
yeah, but the punk scene, right? You know what I mean? It's like fuck snobbery, right? It's anti all that. But the irony in that statement is that a lot of the dudes that are anti-establishment are now very snobby about their craft
Oh, for
beer,
sure,
right?
bro. I mean, I feel like just that whole like the metaphor with punk, it comes with too many rules, bro.
Yeah.
If you know, like everyone's like, oh, like here when they come to the brewery, it's like, you guys don't play enough punk music. You guys don't do enough of this punk. You guys don't do this.
Well, isn't that the opposite of
I was
punk?
like, slow down, man. If you wanted to be in a box and just stick at what you know and just listen to what you know, I mean, you can do that shit at home. Here, I said, this is an Emo Brown is an extension of the brewery. And the brewery, as it relates, is like, it's just do what you want. We have DJs that come in and play all kinds of music. We have musicians that come in and play all kinds of music.
If it's good,
if
people
it's
will
good,
like
it
it.
makes sense, you
Yeah.
know. And for us, it's like that's what's kind of like the square peg in the round hole and forcing it through. It's like we do what we want. Like our motto or our brand is Tripanqueos. Familia, cerveza, música, fiesta. And we pull that shit off on the daily. It could be a Tuesday, it could be a Wednesday, and we're gonna have music, we're gonna have beer, we're gonna have food, we're gonna have a party. When you come to the brewery, you're coming for like, hey man, el ambiente, how do you say it? The ambiance.
Yeah.
You want to have a good time, and people keep coming back because they have a good time. You know? So the punk mentality of being the snobbery, I see it. You know, I see it in the beer scene for sure. You know, people get in, why'd you start drinking beer? You know, it's like you ask somebody, why did you start drinking beer? And I was like,
to get drunk, man,
I
to be
enjoyed
honest.
it, you know? Why have 7 when I can have 2?
Then I started to like it.
And that's true, man. Most of our favorite beers, you know, or the beers that we got started and got us into this, aren't the beers we drink today.
Right, no,
My first beer was Carta Blanca, you know, and then Pacifico. Those are my 2 favorite beers that jumped me into everything else.
I never even had a favorite beer. I just knew it was in a red cup.
There it is.
A red cup. I was red cupping it. Backyard, keg parties. I was drinking beer because that's what was available.
Can I throw out an underrated Mexican beer that I don't think gets enough love?
All right.
Sol Cerveza is like my
for a
favorite
reason,
beer.
dog. For a reason it gets
you
no
think it's
love.
too watery or what?
Compare it
Not
to
enough
something.
bite. Not enough bite.
On a hot day, any cold one will do, though.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a little water. I think probably like a Coors Lightish kind of.
Yeah,
beer.
and you know what?
Yeah,
My biggest hurdle to get over when opening this brewery was convincing my dad on what we were doing. Because my biggest, not necessarily nitpickers, but my biggest like achievement of converting people are my parents, you know? Because by default, they're going to be like, no, mijo, no, I don't know, mijo, oh, no. You know, not
Well, they're always
necessarily
gonna look at the
naysayers.
worst case
Yeah,
scenario,
they're not
right? 'Cause
necessarily naysayers, but always like laying out like the what if this happens, what if that goes wrong. So my dad never drank. He's a Coors Light, all the lights, Coors Light,
All the
Tecate
lights.
Light, Bud Light, all the lights. And then one day I cruised to his pad and I said, hey man, I was like, so the brewery want to open. This is the kind of stuff we want to brew.
Bush Light.
Yeah, Natty Light.
Natty
bro,
Light.
Amstel Light. Bro, Amstel Light. I brought him a blind pig from Russian River.
Yeah.
And I said, here, bro, like, try this, Dad. Mijo, ¿qué es esto? Like, what's this? And I was like, this is the kind of beer like we want to make. You know, something a little bit more full, a little bit more flavorful. Fuck around. 5 years later, 6 years later, this dude doesn't touch natty ice. Any ice. No ices. He touches
Pues,
nothing.
¿cómo?
Bro.
Ya se acostumbró.
Yeah, se
He's good.
acostumbró. He's like, he's had a taste of this. Like, I can't. Nico, that tastes like water and I don't like it. I was like,
Success.
yeah, so I mean, that was the goal here.
Nice.
You know, like get him like
Yeah.
welcome
Yeah.
what we call a crossover beer.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it is. Like here at the brewery, lagers are crossover.
So
beers.
you make a really great lager, but I will say that it's got some body to it, and I think that's the crossover
That's the
aspect of it
crossover,
because for me, who I got stuck on IPAs, and there are times, man, like today, later on, it might be one of those days where it's hot.
Yeah.
I can, goddamn, you know, I need some little lighters, but I still want that flavor. I can't do the can't really do the Coors Lights as much anymore because now once you taste something that's got some flavor to it, it's very hard to go back, man. But every now and again, man, I need a lager that tastes good.
Why have ketchup when you can have salsa? You know, once you've had salsa, it's like, why am I gonna go back to ketchup? And yes, conditional drinking.
There's fancy ketchup,
Yeah, there's
though.
situational drinking. You know,
Why
like,
have Baja?
sometimes I need ketchup.
Why have Tex-Mex when you have Baja?
There it is.
That's an interesting question. So what about the whole kind of like going back to the culture, the Mexican culture thing? What about the whole like gourmet Mexican food scene, man? I don't know about you personally, but I listen, man. If you're gonna charge me $15 for 3 tacos, I gotta know there's a doña back there making that tortilla fresh.
Doubtful.
But doubtful, right? But if that's like a frozen tortilla that you're buying from like the vendor and shit, man, then
For
you
our
can-
audience, what's it doing?
Huh? It's an old lady. It's you know, it's
a
a
grandma
grandma.
holding
It's a grandma.
it
It's an
down.
elder.
You hear this? You
Yeah,
hear that?
you're
You know
hearing
it's
that.
popping.
That could be one of two things.
by-
If I hear that, either there's gonna be some tortillas or some
No.
There's gonna be a sock on the door.
I don't want to associate this with an old lady. You already know what this
Unless
is.
it's my old lady.
Hey!
But it's true, man, and I'll tell you what. If you ever go to a fancy Mexican restaurant and they bring your tacos and they're on placeholders,
Yeah,
it's
it's
bro.
over.
Yeah,
It's
get
over.
out of there, man.
You don't want to
Why?
stick around and see what. Like,
Bro, I've been Midwest, East Coast, and where I draw the line is the Ortega taco shells.
all right.
Put that shit.
Taco night.
Oh my God! Now at home that's cool. In a restaurant is not.
I get it jonesing sometimes for that kind of taco.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, throw a little ground beef, seasoned ground beef, and a hard shell.
And a hard
little
shell that
lettuce,
just
little-
falls apart as soon as you bite
little
it.
cheese, yeah. I mean, I know my grandparents are
Turns
probably
into a
rolling over in
salad.
the graves right now hearing this.
It's a
You
little
know?
nostalgic. It takes you back to.
It's
It's a little nostalgic. It takes you back to when you were 12.
It's like
13.
eating the
Takes you back
chicken
to middle
nuggets.
school and going to Taco Bell.
If I'm gonna go back
Bell.
that far, I like the big giant flour tortillas, man, with the ground beef and the
little-
lettuce and the
beans,
fucking sour
some
cream
refried
all
beans.
coming at the top.
Oh shit! All right, the one that what was it? Trump is like, oh, I like Mexicans, and he's having like a taco salad. I was like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
A taco bowl.
A taco bowl, yeah. I love you, Hispanics.
Bro,
They're the best.
talking about living through some fuckery, man.
The last 5 years, bro. Well, think about it. We're all in our 40s, right? I'm assuming. I'm connecting the dots.
I'm like I said, when you're ready to do over 50 soccer, let me know.
You ain't down.
I'm down. I'm down, bro. I can't run with you guys. Once you guys get that over 50 league, man, then
Just hang out in the backfield, man, and you'll be just fine.
Hey, man, I do all right, but I'm just saying, man. You know, that 10 years makes a big
It's
difference.
all
man.
for sure. 2 years makes a difference, bro. On our team,
yeah.
we're on the over 30 team. Hello, we came in second place. Thank you. But yeah, we're all over 30. I'm 42. There's a 35-year-old, and that motherfucker's just running circles around everybody.
Yeah.
There's a 31-year-old on the squad, and that dude's doing his thing. So
Those
it's
10
like,
years matter,
shit,
man. Once
three.
you pass 33 years old, you're on a downswing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But check
bro.
this out. We're all in that age in our life, 40s, and we're like the last buffer between like people getting butthurt for everything and people not getting butthurt over anything. We
Imagine
grew up
that.
without internet. We grew up without PlayStation 5.
But we
grew up
did
with
grow up though at the same time.
and then we evolved into it.
Preach,
You know,
preach.
so we had both sides of the railroad tracks. You know, we've had you gotta come in before the street lights come on. To I'm gonna shoot you a text when when you
Right.
gotta come home. To
We got
doing-
ass whoopings.
Yeah.
And we got talking to.
No,
you.
check this out.
You know what I'm saying?
We got schooled at home and we went to school. You know.
There's a step further. We're the first generation, if you want to call it Generation Xers, right? You know, I think that's, 78 to like 83 or whatever, maybe a little bit sooner. Where our pop culture, the things that we loved as kids, are still freaking cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all the shit that we were into as kids, whether
Beverly
that
Hills
was
90210.
Star Wars, Beverly Hills, whatever. All the pop culture, all the stuff that we were into, skateboarding, right? You know what I mean? All the stuff that was sometimes counterculture and sometimes in the actual zeitgeist, it's now still very cool, and now younger kids are into it.
Did
know
you
what I
just
mean?
say Zygots?
Yeah.
Goddamn, dog.
Hey, yo.
Hey, that's what you got in Angulo here for.
Now, I will tell you this. I was
You
talking.
didn't talk like that when we were younger.
Hey, I was talking to a young, inspired homie of mine. It's my brother's nephew. Well, he is my brother, man. It's my homie's nephew, but that's my brother too. And we were talking, and he's early 20s right now, and he's getting his hustle on. He's learning a lot about life, man. And we were talking about, well, I was talking about before hip hop. And I said, my life, you could draw a line down the middle of my life, and I call it before hip hop and after
Was
hip hop.
it 88?
Well,
Because that's when it was for me, man. 88.
When hip hop.
I remember very specific. I was 8 years old in 88.
Oh, no.
Hold on, just hear me out. And I had got good grades, got straight grades, straight A's. My dad's like, what do you want? I'm like, take me to fucking Tower of Records. And I got Beastie Boys licensed to Ill. And then from then it was just
That's
on,
amazing
you know
album.
what I mean?
That was an amazing album.
Top to bottom.
Yeah.
That's Rick Rubin right there.
Yeah.
That's top to
That's
bottom.
Rick Rubin.
And I remember the difference of what life was like before and after. And his response was, you were around before hip hop? Yeah, man, but a lot of people don't realize, man, that was one of those defining moments in our culture. And we're talking about VCRs, beta VHS. We're talking about DVDs, CDs, shit that don't even exist anymore.
Terrorist attacks, you know? It's like, that was a defining moment. We didn't know what that was unless you were around for the Pearl Harbor days. And then 9/11 hit, and it's like, I feel like that was a switch.
Is that the closest example? Pearl Harbor, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
Because that
man.
was in your face.
Yeah,
That was right
like,
there.
boom, you know,
So what was the effect here in San Diego? For the biggest thing that I felt,
well, we're a border town,
I
bro.
know. So that's what I was gonna get to,
Yeah.
man.
You talking
because
about 9/11?
All of a sudden, downtown Central Revolution Tijuana is a ghost town.
Yeah.
I stopped going.
Ghost
9/11. I haven't been back since I went on a collab that 3 Punks did. That was
down in Tijuana.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the first time I've been to Tijuana since 9/11.
With Ruben and Kevin, all those. I heard about that trip,
Yeah,
though.
yeah. You texted. He was like, "Don't lose your head."
Yeah, no,
Steve's just checking in, making sure everyone's all
Were you
right.
guys at H King? What's going on, boy? That's for the Wednesday special.
Just name the street. I'll know what you got
La
going on.
Sexta. Oh, turn around. But it's true, man. Like we're of that era where those things, like we lived through those attacks. We've now lived through a pandemic. I feel bad for like my kids. All they know is pandemic life, man. You know, they're 9, 7, and 4, and we've been in this for 2 years. My kindergartner, he went to school as a kindergartner, and he returned to school as a second grader. And it doesn't sound hard, but it's like shit, man. He went from learning shapes and colors to motherfucker. Now you gotta read. Now you gotta do this. You gotta problem solve. You know, and hats off to everybody who stayed home, like my wife, and just kind of like held their hands and guided them through it. But this has been a learning experience. Fuck operating a business, bro. We all learned how to operate a business.
Operate your household where everybody's stuck together.
You gotta hold it down in the house, bro. That's next level shit, bro.
Yeah.
Hold up. I gotta give you love on that one, man, because the household was tested.
Yeah.
Tested.
If you went into the pandemic with a weak foundation, ooh, papito, you ain't married no more.
No, man. And that was happening, man. People,
Yeah.
hey,
Left
man.
and right.
Yeah.
Left and right.
Yeah, man.
And it's still there's still fallout from a lot of couples that I'm not going to mention any names. Of course. But a lot of couples are still, having some trouble even after the pandemic. We're kind of getting through it a little bit, and they're still falling off.
Yeah.
Divorce, separation. It has to do with the pandemic.
Yeah. We signed up for
Absolutely.
sickness and health, but not 24/7.
No.
What the?
No. Yeah. I mean, being around your loved one, being around anyone that much time is going to test your relationship. So we were lucky, man. We were one of the lucky ones that, we had our ups and downs, and then we kind of like evolved out of it, and it's like, oh shit, man, now everything is better. We good. We're
Puts a lot
good
of things in
because of it.
perspective, though. Feel a little bit more
Ton of
balanced.
things, yeah. It put everything in perspective.
It's been a crazy 2 years for sure.
So yes, sir. So listen, man. What I want to say is, let's keep this going.
Go ahead.
Let's keep this going. You, when we were texting back and forth, you were like, "Let's."
We
bring
tried to
it-
plan this shit for a while,
It's been
man.
a long ass time.
I'm annoying, dog. My schedule is fucking annoying.
Hey.
UPS,
Hey.
bar, brewery, household, podcast, and it's just like all day, every day.
You got 82 job, man. You one of the hardest working dudes
We
I know.
load the truck, we empty the truck, we clean the truck, bro.
So I
We make
remember
the beer, we serve the beer, we sell the beer.
before I even knew that you was doing all that, man. There was a fair over here, and I was over here shooting some video of me eating tacos at a fucking truck and
Fucking
shit.
guy,
And he
yeah.
pulls up, right, and he got his whole family with him, man. Is you wife? How many boys you got?
I got 3 little boys,
All
man.
right, 3 boys. I'll make sure you get it right. So we got 3 boys, man. He pulls up. We're ordering tacos, and I'm like, "What's up, man?" I'm thinking, "You headed to the brewery?" He's like, "Nah, bro. I'm heading to my job." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, man." And I was like, all I could say was, "I respect your hustle."
Nah, fuck that. I got too many mouths to feed, bro. There's no alternative. There's no option. It's like I gotta go until I can't go anymore.
Isn't it crazy how we work to what we need?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's no me being a single guy.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, single successful guy.
Me being a single guy before, right? I'd just do the bare minimum, right? You know, I mean, I had my little due to feed, you know. But now being in a relationship and then being maintaining a household, I'm like, fuck. Now and subconsciously, I just started working harder. Subconsciously, I just more successful now than I've ever been on account of the fact that I took on more responsibility.
Yeah.
So having to do it made me do it. But if I didn't have to do it, if it wasn't for my girl, my stepdaughter, my son, I don't know, I'd probably just be doing the bare minimum, man.
Never
You know what I mean?
force it.
It's
You know,
yeah.
never force it. I mean, and I always say this until people are like, again, like the square peg in the round hole, bro. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. You
Sure.
just gotta walk away from it.
Yeah.
I unfortunately can't walk away from it. You know, I have a family, I have responsibilities. We have a lot of I got a lot of loose ends to connect and make sure that everything adds up at the end of the month.
And the clock is ticking.
Tick, 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 man. When we first started this thing, I promised my wife, I said, give me 5 years. I said, give me 5 years of me hustling and doing my thing, stop working and just hang out at home and raise our boys, as if that's a fucking easy chore.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably like the most difficult thing anybody can do is just raising a family. But I said, give me 5 years. Let me figure all this out. And if in 5 years I'm not where I want to be, then wait, Control-Alt-Delete, we'll reset all over again. We're in year 4 right now of doing this, and everything so far, knock on wood, is going good. Fuck, where's the wood? Everything's going good, but it's like I tell her, I said, just believe in me, and it's been crazy, man. Everything has kind of just been accidentally falling into place, you know.
Nah,
the brewery,
you being humble.
dude, the brewery, it's a fucking.
There's an
it's
overall
very
game plan,
difficult.
but things do.
Yeah.
It's like a domino effect.
But I mean, the energy that you put behind it.
You gotta
has
bring
a-
it though.
You got to.
You gotta bring it.
You
You can't be fucking lackadaisical about it. You can't be fucking very like, oh. No, you got to fucking bring it. You got to build a staff. You got to surround yourself with other people that have the same mentality. At staff meetings, I always tell them, I say, hey man, we're all in the same boat and we're all paddling the same direction. If you're not, don't fucking have any hard feelings. You're gonna have to, find something else.
So one thing on that note before we close it out, man. So what drives you? I mean, because that's a lot of shit, man. And there's a lot of opposing. I wouldn't say there's a current.
Yeah.
We
weren't built to last long. We weren't built to fucking like succeed and make it work. You know, I'm driven by fucking fear, bro. Fear of failure.
Yeah.
You know, there's one thing that I'll always look to, and it's my parents' approval, and just making sure that my parents approve of the shit. Half the time with the shit I do, I smoke weed, I drink whiskey, I hang out. You know, like they won't approve of that shit, but I do it and I get the job done.
Get the job done.
You know what I mean? It's like I know what my responsibilities are. I know what I need to do to make sure. I know that the task list that needs to get checked off before I can do these things. For me, it's the fear of failure. We do so much. It's like Emo Brown, dog. We built that shit from zero, and now you got labels that are reaching out like, hey man, how can we get you guys to jump on and help you get it to the next level? The brewery, we built it from zero. Now we're winning awards for our beer. We got people packing our spot on
From
fucking
zero.
Tuesdays.
That was
and
pretty
shit,
amazing,
bro.
though. The golf tournament basically cemented exactly what you said, because I was blown away by the support,
Bro.
the community backing, also the brand, Emo Brown.
The
It was
professionalism.
professionalism, everything was truly amazing, and that is an attestment to what you've accomplished.
I was proud to be
appreciate
there.
that,
I was
dude.
proud to
Thank
be
you
there.
guys, yeah.
And when I saw you, we got there, we got settled, had a couple beers, and I had to go find you, man. When I saw you, man, I was like,
I'm in
homie,
it. I'm in it.
I'm inspired, bro.
Yeah, bro. And it's for the fear of failure, bro.
Yeah.
People always, what the fuck? Why do you do so much? Why do you want this? Why do you be involved with it? You gotta
What
chill
else you
out,
gonna do?
It's like, bro, I gotta keep going,
Yeah.
dog. Like the foundation is, for me, was the perfect like stamp at the end of everything. It's like, all right, what are we really doing, man? I own a bar and a brewery here in our hood. I make a living off of people here in our hood. I got to give back to the people in my hood. So what we did, we just started doing it last year. We built our foundation and did a gratitude ride. We raised like $6,000 for 3 families here in the community and 3 low-income schools here in Chula Vista. Fuck, let's do it again. So we're doing it again next this Thanksgiving.
Count us in, big dog.
You know?
So we got a lot to talk about. And we got a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
We stay busy.
Yep.
You haven't even talked about you being on board day 1, fool.
Day one, man.
Shit,
man.
Emo Brown.
AKA the brownest, baby.
That's what I said. Emo the brownest.
Yeah, man. Hey, and again, that was a great but organic moment, man.
Yeah.
So there was no, and I post that video every now and again because there was no, hey, this is what we doing, this is what we trying to do. It was like, hey,
Let's see what happens.
yeah, come down, bring your camera if you want to, whatever,
Yeah.
man. That's what happened, man. So I think we got a lot of ground to cover, man. We got a lot of time to do it because this is what we doing. This is what you're doing. And I think we're doing it for the city. I think we're doing it for the right reasons, man. So
Right.
on the way out, I just want to say one more again, Steve O Garcia,
What's up, brother?
plus a cold one.
And I appreciate you, man.
Oh man, I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, appreciate
you guys
you.
are always welcome here.